Hey guys, welcome back to Cultivation with Christy. I'm Christy. Good morning. It is just after 7 a.m. so I beat the sun out here this morning. We're going to start in the front this time since I did beat the sun out this morning. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I've been gardening since about 2015. Started in pots on my apartment patio. Then we went in-ground in our first house, and we were in-ground here for about a year. And then I decided to go to the raised beds because it just makes weeding a lot easier with this devil Bermuda grass that we have here. So I started with these 8 beds here, 7, and then added this long bed and the one bed at the end and all of the trellises and stuff this year. I did get some hot compost, I think. I think since these beds were established, they did a lot better than this one that was not established, but things are starting to come along. You'll see here when we go through it. I am in North Alabama, formerly zone 7B, now 8A, but I still caution on the 7A side of things. So there's my little spiel. Welcome. Let's get started. Okay, some things have changed. I've got a lot more green in here than I did on my last garden tour. And I'm going to start over here on the sad neglected bed. But I got these cute little hummingbird feeders from Dollar General when I went in there to look for ball mason jars. Apparently they're supposed to be selling the ball mason jars to get ready to put in their own mason jars. But anyway, I found these, and I've already heard when I was out here taking pictures this morning, there was already a hummingbird on it. So, and I've got the one hanging with the bird feeder over there. And the ladies are out this morning. Good morning, ladies. Anyway, back to this. So I've got some marigolds. I pinched off the head of this one, so it's starting to bush out and the flowers are getting bigger, because the first flower was probably no bigger than my pinky. It was tiny. So, and same with the basil. You can see it's starting to go. I've pinched off a little bit of that, even though there wasn't enough to even use. And it's starting to bush out. Things are starting to bush out. So I've got marigolds. And I believe these are 2 dwarf type variety of zinnias. So they're going to be smaller anyway. Same with those. Let's see. No, those are the candy stripe zinnias. They're supposed to be really pretty and crazy colored. You can kind of see it. It'll focus. Ah. I've got these tomato cages that are not tomato cages that I'm waiting to see if the eggplants and stuff are gonna need them, so they're in my way. But anyway, let's see if you can see it. Not really. Oh, let me back out. There we go. Yeah, see, they're supposed to be pretty and multicolored and all the things, but not so much. So I've got the Kajari melons here. They are like a personal sized cantaloupe type thing from Asia, I believe. I'd have to go back and look. I've got African blue basil. Just come around. African blue basil. It's just kind of like a holy basil, I think. Yeah, it's a little more basil-y. It's like a sweet basil and a holy basil mixed together. And that's the African blue. It's lovely. I'm going to harvest some of this to make a tea later. That one's also an African blue, and that one's also a Kajari. Then I've got my purple opal basil, which you can see, or maybe not. I pruned it in the middle there. And so it's starting to bush out. So if you didn't know how to prune basil, let me just show you. And this is the same for any basil. You see how this main purple stem comes down and there's 2 branches that come off of either side of it. You want to take just above where they branch out and pinch it off. You see? There's a little stem in the middle and the 2 coming off of it. Now these 2 are going to bush out and you're going to have a bushier basil. And then you can use this in tea or spaghetti or whatever you want to use it on. I'll get that later. This is more of the candy stripe zinnias. Still struggling. More basil. I think that one is actually holy basil. That one's regular Genovese. More little bitty basil. And then this is my only surviving squash. I have seen squash eggs on stuff and squash bugs. Look at these guys. Die. But it hasn't been super bad. But I guess because they're still babies. But you definitely want to squish those guys. Oh look, I've got 2. Anyway, they're hanging in there. I don't know. My aster finally died. What else we got going on? Oh yeah, look at this. I finally got a cucumber to take off. This one is doing well. This is the Armenian white cucumber. Beans, look like they're actually struggling. More holy basil, Genovese basil. Look, I got a flower to finally bloom. Look how pretty that is. This is a nasturtium. Actually, the whole plant is edible. You can put it in your focaccia bread or anything. It's supposed to taste a little like horseradish, a little bite, but not as much. And I got more holy basil, more Genovese basil, tiny sad little cosmos. And this, I think, is a marigold. More Genovese basil, more purple opal basil. And again, I've got more. I think these are the market more cucumber coming up. I still need to come out here and weed. I've got one really weird, sad looking cucumber that I need to harvest, I guess. But look, I got a normal one coming up back here, a little one. I believe these are the market more as well. I'll take off these ones that did not get pollinated. This one did not either. And that's just so it will focus its energy on the actual fruit, not something that's already dead. And maybe if I get it trained up here, the bees and stuff will see that flower. And this one's just too heavy because of that weird fruit. I need to harvest off of it. That one was the freebie. I believe this is the market more, and then I put more market more down there. And then more nasturtium that aren't doing well. Sad day. And then more holy basil. And then down here, look at this. Craziness, just chaos going on. So I don't know if anybody knows why my dahlias are a little sad. let me know. It's probably some fungus or something, but they're hanging in there. And same with this one, it's got the same thing, whatever. And then look, my calendula, which is a medicinal herb, is trying to make a comeback more. This is the holy chocolate bubble gum. I posted this on, or commented on somebody's video, I believe it was Roots and Refuge, and everybody was very interested in this. But it's an Alabama grown basil, the holy chocolate basil, and I got it at a local store up here. So I don't know where you can get it, but I'm definitely going to try to save seeds on that one. And then I got some ground cherries on my ground cherry plant. This is kind of like a tomatillo. So when these little fruits are ripe, here it's got the little paper lantern over it. When those fruits are ripe, they'll fall to the ground. And you can tell this is supposed to be green, that this bed just ain't doing well, but I keep fertilizing it and hoping for the best. It'll get better with time, especially with the straw on it. So now that none of those sunflowers I planted along either side came up, I'm going to finish mulching this. I may put down some mulch back here just because the grass coming out is getting a little crazy. But we'll see what happens. And I need to get in here and look for squash bugs because it's looking a little sad. But the chicky ladies love to eat some squash bugs. But I do have this big old flower. It's just making its way. This is the Pennsylvania Dutch squash. And these get huge, huge. My pumpkin didn't make it there, but look at Lincoln's cucamelons. It's got cucamelons on it. He's been enjoying those. Raspberries are still doing sad. I need to get those in the ground. We're thinking about putting those out front. More cucamelons. Let's see. These are like a lemony cucumber. It looks like something's been munching these. See? Hopefully from the outside. I feel like I would know if not, because I purposely grew them along the edge so Lincoln could enjoy them. And there's another one down there. Then the sunflowers are doing good. These are the sunflowers my cousin sent me the seeds from Nebraska. Well, I think she ordered the seeds off of Etsy, but I got them from her while I was in Nebraska. And then okra is coming along. I got a little one there. I need to probably get that one. Because okra, you want to harvest them when they're smaller. And then more cucamelons. I'm actually going to do a quick fridge pickle with these cucamelons here. My sorority sisters from college I still keep in touch with are coming in 2 weekends. So this is Sunday the 23rd. So not this coming weekend, but the following weekend after the 4th of July. They're supposed to come and hang out and see the chickens in the garden and just hang out. So I'm going to do a nice little charcuterie board table with all of the garden things that I have thus far. So I'm going to do a quick pickle with those in the fridge. But they need to sit about a week. So I need to get out here and get that harvested. So moving on from the in-ground section, I'll come back to the watermelons and the whatnots over there. But we've got some tomato action coming on very slowly but surely. As you remember, the San Marzano down here on the end has been very tiny, but I put out more chicken manure and more liquid fertilizer, so they're all coming along slowly but surely. So San Marzano, San Marzano, San Marzano. He's getting tall. Almost time to put him on the trellis. Striped Roma, which I really hope these produce because I want to see them. Striped Roma, striped Roma. Then we have regular Roma. We lost that Roma. I believe it just broke off. I tried to save it, but I'll probably root one of the suckers off of one of these guys and see if I can replace this one. Look at this one. It's got little flowers. So this one is an Amish paste. Amish paste. And then Amish paste. Then we have Abe Lincoln. Abe Lincoln. So you can see it's not the varieties, because this is an Abe Lincoln and this is an Abe Lincoln. It's just weird soil stuff. I don't know. They look good. They look healthy. Very green, vibrant. So, I don't know. Cherry tomato is coming along. So, when you prune your tomatoes, you see this is the main stem here, and this bottom one is the branch. This one in the armpit of the main stem and the branch, this is a sucker. And you just want to pinch that off. Now, this you could actually put in water and root, which is what I intend to do to replace the Roma down there I lost. But if it doesn't have any disease, you can just lay it down and let it compost in place. I usually take the bottom foot or so off of the plant, especially if any of the leaves are touching the soil. You want to get rid of those. Especially if you live somewhere humid. Like now, if you live somewhere up north where it's not as humid and you don't have to worry about disease and humidity and fungus on your plants, and you may not have to prune them as heavily as I would here. So I'm just gonna do it while I see it so I don't have to come back later. But this one was the cherry, and the super steak. This one is the Better Boy, pineapple, and look at this. Our first tomato of the season in the garden. I have had a couple off of the green stalk over there, but look at that. And that one's the Queen of the Night. So it's going to be a purple with these anthocyanins from the sun make it purple. Then I planted another, it's not a market more, I think it's a national pickling cucumber there. And then I got my black petunias, which I need to deadhead. And then I've got the containers. I can't remember if the containers were over here on the last tour. And then my volunteer Mexican torch sunflower. I'm just gonna let it hang out. I know that one was there, but look how big it's gotten in the walkway. Stuff in the walkway is doing better than the bed. Anyway, so this is a bay leaf plant, bay laurel. Well, tree. It's a tree, but it's doing well there. Zoom in here. This is mullein. It is also a medicinal plant. Look how fuzzy that is. It's good for clearing up respiratory gunk. I need to come out and harvest some of those leaves. Look how good this lime tree is doing now that I set it out here. It bushed out, it greened back up. So you remember most of the leaves had fallen off and it was not looking good, but it looks very good now. Then I have spearmint and peppermint in this, and both of those are medicinal. Then I have chocolate mint and apple mint, which probably have medicinal properties, but There that is. And if you haven't had it flavored mint, you should try it because it's pretty delicious. And then pineapple sage here, also must have in the garden. I think I'm going to take this status out. It's a flower, and put it in the back there with my other flowers. I'll get to that in a minute. But lemon balm, I think this is stevia. I think these are the Thai basil coming back from last year. Then I have thyme. These are actually carnations. Oregano. I think that is lavender. That was my rosemary. I just can't grow rosemary to save my life from seed anyway. I had a big one, big bush over there. And then the frost killed it. So, oh well. On to this side of the garden. So strawberries are just hanging out. They're done, I think. They're not doing anything, but I'm letting these runners run into the walkways. And once they get a little rooted, I'm gonna move them into the green stock. The horseradish is untamed. It is huge. But it attracts ladybugs. I don't think that's a ladybug, but I don't know. Anyway. Get some of these back. Because I got my feverfew that's coming along. It looks good. My poor sweet peas never bloomed. I don't know. And the asparagus is taller than I am. So you only want to harvest asparagus a couple of stalks. You don't want to kill the whole root system at the bottom, because then it won't come back next year. So then you end up with like asparagus ferns, and they go to seed, and these will be like red seeds, and you'll drop more, but they're everywhere. And then I got my dry beans. I bought more pinto beans yesterday. I need to sow since the pinto beans I had were not doing well. I have zinnia in there and a giant marigold that's doing its thing back here. So this bed's just kind of doing its thing until it dries out. Look at that. Which I probably need to put these in the back next year because they're kind of unsightly, but oh well. And I've got calendula. I've been harvesting a ton of calendula, both this one and the yellow one over there, and it's medicinal. You can soak the flowers in oil and make a salve with beeswax out of it, and it's good for eczema and all kinds of stuff. And then I got this dahlia up here. This is the one, got weird shadows already. This is the one I dug up and overwintered with my peppers that did not overwinter, but this one came back. I need to get out here and deadhead some stuff. This is my cantaloupes, which are just barely creeping by. Got tree weeds. Oh goodness. I'll have to come back and clip that one. More petunias, the black petunias. Then I got lemon thyme here that's just gone crazy. I need to trim it back, but it's delicious. It was really good on my focaccia bread, which I can put a picture. And then these are some leftover peppers that did not fit in the sweet pepper bed and the hot pepper bed. I got some cayenne peppers already coming on. Look at that. And this one I think is cayenne too. And then I have pimento and I think some shishitos or something else over here. That's a, I believe this is a Thai basil. Maybe not. That is not. I don't know what that is. It's coming up all in here. I don't know what that is. What was in this bed? I don't remember. Anyway, most of the carrots have been pulled up. I left a couple that were teeny. I doubt they'll do anything, but we'll see. Then I got rue, which is medicinal as well, not recommended for pregnant ladies. Then I got my marjoram, sweet marjoram. Then I had some dill, which a caterpillar was munching on. That's why I left it. I think this might be parsley. I did plant some parsley in here. This might be parsley. Then my eggplants over here on this side of the bed are looking good. I got some little eggplant flowers on a couple of these plants. I got 5 of these. This one I've already supported. See. Then I've got, oh look, I got a pepper here. What is this one? Pimento. Hey, that's pretty impressive because I never get pimentos that early. But that's why I planted a crap ton of them. I think this one's an Anaheim. Can't see what that one is. Anaheim. Pimento. Pimento. Lots of pimento. Pimento cheese. Look at that. I got some shishitos. And I got some black Hungarian peppers. How cool is that? I make a really good pepper relish. I combine all the peppers at the end of the season. Oh, look, these are ready to harvest. You can't see it. Look at that. I combine all the peppers at the end of the season, cut them all up. Mostly sweet peppers because I don't want my pepper relish to be hot. But it makes a very good relish. You can't even tell it's not pickle relish. It's kind of made in the same way. Oh, there's another one. What is that? Banana peppers. And then look at these noodle beans. They are going crazy. I need to harvest those. I just harvested some yesterday morning. Maybe it was the morning before. But look. Noodle beans. Then I've got yarrow up here and purslane on that one over there. These you can use for stir fry. I believe you can cut them up and use them in the same way that you do green beans. We haven't tasted them yet, so we'll see what happens. A little sunburn on that, I think. This is the other half, or the back side of this half of the pepper bed. More shishitos. If you haven't had, you need to look up blistered shishito peppers. You can actually buy those in the grocery store, I think. I put out more sluggo because something's eating. More looks like hornworm damage. I don't see them. I'll have to come back out here at dusk. But none of the hot peppers. They're all flowering. So that's a plus. This one. Oh, look. This one must be my red chili peppers. See? Yep, red chili peppers. So something that I found really interesting is the seeds that you save from your plants always produce a lot faster and do a lot better than seeds you buy from the store. Like the ones that volunteer, like the watermelon and the loofah. Like the loofah's already producing, and it was not producing this time last year, but I think that's because it's a volunteer. It already knows the environment, it's already used to it, it's already adapted, and they just take off. So I suggest anytime you can to save your own seeds, because I think they'll do much better. So moving on, nothing else yet over here. Like I said, everything looks like it's flowering. I don't know which this one is. habanero. And then this is my Madam Janet. No flowers yet, but maybe. And then look at this guy. Again, this is another volunteer. It's way taller than me. Pretty sunflower, and it's gonna have heads all over it, because this one was the mammoth. I'll see if I can find a picture from last year, and it only had one head on it, and it volunteered right there, and I made sure it ate on, and I did not smush it as we were putting in this trellis, because it was here before the trellis, and it is just doing its own thing. And then I came in and hand pollinated a couple of these butternut squash to ensure I got butternut squash. But this plant is doing really well. Like, I am very happy with this. I gotta train it up. This one's not doing as well. It's kind of falling back here, so I don't know what the magic sauce is for the other one. But I mean, it's got fruit on it. It's just not as big. But look at these flowers. So you can see this is the male flower, if it will focus. Yep. And this one attached to the little fruit, if I can get in here, is a female flower. So if you wanted to hand pollinate any of your squash ones, they'll look like this. So you'll just take this flower off. You can remove the petals and just rub that inner stamen on this one, and you'll get fruit. Guaranteed. No bees necessary. So if you're having problems with your fruit drying up and falling off and turning orange, you probably have a pollination issue. So you just need to do it yourself, because the bees aren't finding the flowers. But this one's butternut. And we talked about the cucumbers on that side. And then still haven't finished harvesting the potatoes. I just haven't made it back out here to do that. I'm going to get the pitchfork and just kind of get up underneath it and lift it up, since I got ants. The sweet potatoes are looking good. I noticed some flowers on them the other day, though I don't see them right now. They may open up in the afternoon instead of the morning, because usually your squash opens up in the mornings. I got some, I think that one is a Cosmo. That one's a Cosmos. Those are potato flowers. Let me come over here and show you. So I was having a conversation yesterday. A friend from Indiana that's currently living in Nashville, that's about to move to Arizona, wanted to come by and see the garden. And we ended up talking at breakfast about how potatoes actually have a fruit on them that look like tomatoes. You do not want to eat them. They are highly toxic. They will not make you feel good. But eventually these flowers will have fruit on them. Little green balls, kind of look like green tomatoes. But you don't want to eat those. You just want the roots. The more you know, right? Alright, and this is pretty much what's left of the onions. They're toppled over. I need to come out here and get them. But this half, I cleared it out. I think I told you guys that. And yesterday, I came in and just broadcasted zinnia seeds in here. I also put my eucalyptus in here to get it out of the pots. I've still got those healer, whatever flowers those are, in here. And I also put some of the medicinal toothache plant in here. They're also called eyeball plant, buzz buttons. Back in the day, they would use those as medicine to numb the mouth. And it does a very good job of numbing the mouth. I think I'm going to make a tincture out of that this year just in case. And then this is what I was talking about. I already got loofahs, So if you've never seen a loofah, like a sponge that you buy in the store, that's what it looks like. You let it go until it completely dries out, then you harvest it. There's a video I have of it. And Adon and I keep joking, I wish you could smell back here. But something back here smells like cheese. Like queso cheese. It's very weird. Then I got the watermelon intermingled with the loofah, intermingled with the weeds, intermingled with the Pennsylvania Dutch squash. But it's doing its thing. Look, there's flower. So same thing with this. That would be the female flower there. I don't know if I can find a male flower. That's a female. I think watermelon has male and female, but I could be wrong. But anyway, you can pretty much hand pollinate anything. See, there's my bee. He's working. Alright. And I guess that is about it. You can go back up here and look at the green stalks. So my citronella is doing well. The plan for this was to put it on the table, and I actually enjoyed the table this year, but it's been too hot. And then this is comfrey. I could let it dry out a little bit too much, but it's bouncing back. Looks like it needs some fertilizer. Then the green stalk's doing pretty good. My oregano's going crazy. I need to do something with it. Marigolds. Cosmos. I don't remember which one that one was. Horehound. Look at this. Cosmos. More nasturtium. That one hasn't bloomed yet. That one's still a toothache plant. Isn't that sad? Because nothing in here is doing well. Though I do keep fertilizing. It has gotten better. Like this one. Look at this weird flower. Anybody know what this plant is? I thought it was a zinnia, but it is definitely not a zinnia. Don't know what that is. And then my parsley is trying to go to seed. I got some more toothache plants if anybody wants one. Should have gave one to Shane while he was here. Then I got my arugula has gone to seed, waiting for these to dry out to harvest the arugula seeds since I wasn't patient enough to do it last time. Chive, I obviously harvested some chive, made some homemade ranch. It was chef's kiss. Got my romaine, it's doing pretty good. Have a sandwich. I did make some sourdough sandwich bread yesterday. Didn't come out of the pan quite right, but it is what it is. It's because I didn't oil it enough. I thought I did, but I didn't. Look at the baby tomato. Focus. This is a tidy treat, I believe. This one's also the tidy treat, but this one looks better than the other one. See, there's another toothache plant. Then I got curry. I need to harvest some of that. This is a native plant. Can't remember what it is called. This. More chive. Obviously I did not harvest from this one. All kinds of good things coming along in the green stalk. Something's eating the broccoli, but obviously it ain't gonna do anything in this heat, so I need to pull it up. Also, look, I know it's a weedy mess, but I've got coleuses down here that volunteered from last year, so I didn't want to rip up all the weeds, and then I'm like, how do I go around everything? So I haven't made it back. Spiderwort, very pretty. dandelion. My hydrangea, a little sad, but I mean overall it looks good. Maybe I just need to deadhead some of that stuff. Then look at this pretty gladiola. It's the only one that bloomed out of all this because I think it needs full sun, and the morning sun just ain't enough. I think that one probably hung over enough to get what it needed. And then I had some daylilies over here, but they are soggy and done. And obviously my irises are done. Those are early spring. And I don't know what all that is, but it gets weeds. I thought it was coleus, but it's not. And look what surprised me. I think we talked about this last time, but my elephant ears came up. I think since there's no food in this bed, I'm going to use the Miracle Grow stuff I had bought a couple years ago. I didn't use it last year, so it has sat here on the windowsill, this little Miracle Grow sprayer. I use that for the flowers since I bought it, and I got like 3 refills for it. Look at my wormies. You see them trying to escape. I'm guessing they're still getting acclimated, but not as many of them are trying to escape as the other day. Apparently the first 24 hours they like to escape, which they've been in here like 4 or 5 days now, but they're all in here. Probably need to give them a little bit more food. I got them some carrots and some celery. They still got food, but I'm gonna sprinkle some more cornmeal on top just to make sure that they got enough. Alright, I just ran inside, and this is the stuff that Uncle Jim's worm farm sells as their feed. And again, I think it's just cornmeal, but they seem to be eating it. They're like, don't mix it in, don't mix the worms in. So I have not, but hopefully it's not too hot in there for them. But anyway, that's the worm update. And now the chickens are already inside the coop. They're already hot. I'm gonna go and get them some ice water to try to keep their water cool for a little bit this morning. I'm gonna get some seeds. I'm gonna reseed some pumpkin. I think I'm gonna put the pumpkin on this side. There was something else I was gonna put out there too. Oh, my pinto beans. So I'm gonna do pumpkin and pinto beans, and then just water those areas that have the seed, since I watered everything else yesterday and everything is heavily mulched, so I'm not having to water every day, even though it is super hot out. But that is it for me in the garden this morning. Like I said, I'm gonna go and get some chores done, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out on this long video, guys.